Depends what you do.
I think those look
A
sick.
passion pop is when you like you go up and you grab double and like put it like that. You like spin it this way. But if you go like that, and
that
that's
looks
a front, that's a big spin.
Yeah, that's harder. Yeah,
yeah, that's way harder.
What did Aton do?
Aton's, I don't even know what that is.
That was insane.
There's like, you got to look at the post because Tony Hawk put on it what the name was. He called it out.
Because he's backside. Then he went the
It
other.
was like a stalefish body varial 360. That's all I think it was. But
is that as hard as it gets? You think?
Yeah,
gotta
for
be,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I like the big, like the stuff Huey was doing. Obviously, the stale flip. I think it looks. I just like the connectivity of it. It looks the best, and like the landing's really clean.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's important with airs, landing smooth. But then when it comes to the variation of like varials
Spinning
and
your
grabs
body
that's
it's just
super
changing.
Hey, everybody, Michael. Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is July 11th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. So basically we're looking at the mid-levels of the atmosphere on the satellite imagery, and it's showing you where the most moisture is. For example, this is dry air out here, this red, and then you can see we got some moisture moving across the state of California. That's that monsoon moisture starting to flow in here, and you can see some of the deep convection out here across the intertropical convergence zone, which also is going to develop some tropical systems, and some of these may try to move towards the state of California as well. So lots to look at here as we go through the video this morning. And again, thanks to everybody who's been following this channel and anyone who has subscribed and comes back to check and watch these videos daily. Much appreciated. We're up over 60,000. We picked up about 800 subscribers just on the day yesterday. So again, thanks for that. Now, taking a look here, from July 2025 to June 2026, all these reds, those are the record warmest 12-month rolling period here ever for these regions. A pretty incredible signal when you think about it here. There's, what, I think 131 years to look at here, and all of these are the top. I mean, you look at California and Nevada there, and you know that's the departure from normal is 4.7 across the entire area there. It's just pretty insane. So yeah, just thought I'd throw that one at you here. And if you go December, January 2025, it was only the second warmest in the entire 131-year ranking there. And then you can see the Southwest, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico is actually the warmest. So yeah. Do with that what you will. Now, taking a look at the CFS relative Nino 3.4. Again, this updated here this morning, and again, not much in the way of change. Again, a very strong, perhaps record strong El Nino is on its way, and that will probably have some big impacts here along the west coast of North America. For example, look at this. This is basically the entire planet we're looking at here. This is valid for January 2027. This is the European model that was put out there on the 1st of the month, and yeah, take a look at this anomaly here for mean sea level pressure. Yeah, you can really see the Aleutian low very strong there, and perhaps a very strong jet stream pointed at the west coast of North America. You don't know exactly where this is going to set up, but man, this signal's been showing up in the climate forecast system as well. And yes, state of California looks to be pretty rainy, and I zoomed in on that January 2027, and you can see that precipitation for the state of California. Really strong signal for some above normal precipitation chances. You can see drier the further north you go up into Washington and British Columbia. So let's get here to the short term, and we do have some heat advisories, some extreme heat warnings out there. You guys know how to beat the heat, but we have an interesting beach hazard statements here. So I click on that this morning, and look at this. Lightning strikes can harm individuals that are struck. They've actually put a lightning danger in there for the beaches. I've never seen that before, but yeah, watch out for those waves. And we have some thunderstorm activity starting to roll in here now. Lots of National Weather Service offices talking about this is Eureka, new fire starts, lightning strikes, gusty, erratic winds. Now, this is going to be quite hit and miss. So some people are going to get some crazy storms moving around. We're probably all going to see clouds, and you'll feel the increase of moisture here across much of the state. But yeah, the lightning activity here is much more hit and miss. But what does happen could definitely be starting some fires. So Sierra Mountains along the crest also, thunderstorms, gusty winds, potential fire starts. That was updated this morning by Sacramento National Weather Service, Reno National Weather Service talking about the monsoon moisture here as well. And if you've been watching the channel, I've been talking about this for over a week. So that's one of my primary skills. I like to think that I can spot these pattern changes here in the pattern recognition, and I can give you a heads up way in advance here, so you can go, you know, over a week back and probably see me talking about this. Now this is Hanford, California as well, and again, thunderstorm activity, they're talking about it as well. They updated that this morning. And now we're going to take a look at 500 millibars, approximately 18,000 feet up in our atmosphere. You got California here, there's Washington, what's known as a trough up to the northwest there of Vancouver Island, and we got this ridge here across Southern California. You can see it right here, and there's Nevada and Arizona. Now, if I put this into motion, what's going on is this ridge is backing up off to our north and east, and that's allowing for this return southeast and southerly flow to come back up into the state of California and up some of the west coast here, spreading that monsoon moisture. So this is like a gear in a machine here, and there's a troughing there. The flow will be coming out of the southwest there, wrapping around and coming back out of the south here on the western periphery of this ridge. Now, as we go on in through the day today, this is about tomorrow morning, and you can see the ridge now positioned right across Wyoming, northeast Utah, and portions of northwest Colorado. And again, that southerly flow is going to be with us for some time. I mean, a very substantial ridge. This is going to break some all-time record temperatures here underneath this ridge across portions of Montana as well. And that ridge is going to be in place and allow for the southerly flow to be in place as we go through next week. Now, what may happen, we may get a brief cutoff there, but then as we go on in towards the end of next week, that ridge is still here, and we're still going to get some of this return flow, it looks like, as we go towards the end of next week as well. And also some tropical systems trying to bring some moisture up out of the south. More on that here in a moment. And you can see the Hurricane Prediction Center there has an 80% chance of tropical cyclone formation here over the next 7 days, right off the west coast of Mexico there. And you can see several other areas of development here, possibly near Hawaii as well. Now, if we look at the European artificial intelligence, I'm going to put this into motion. You see that moisture there moving up into California as we go on in through today and tomorrow. And that's going to be with us for the next few days. And then there's that tropical cyclone development region right there that the National Hurricane Center was talking about. You can see that moisture move up, and it wants to spread some of this moisture towards the state of California. So the models are showing an interesting plume of moisture moving in would bring thunderstorms, potentially some heavy rain into California. We're looking kind of far off in the forecast, though, about a week out or so, or even a little bit longer. So we have to really watch this closely because the model's been waffling back and forth. And then we scroll up into the future a little bit more, and perhaps some of that monsoon moisture still with us through, a week or two out. Now, if we look at the artificial intelligence versus itself, we got the ensemble mean here on the left, and we'll scroll through there and look at last night's European artificial intelligence. You can see that tropical system kind of crawling up the coastline there. So this is not a high-resolution model. This is not going to show the precipitation amounts that accurately just yet. So don't put too much stock in that just yet. But if we look at total precipitation in inches, so watch this as we go through the day today. This is this evening. This would be thunderstorm activity from the coastal waters there, and then moving maybe towards the central coast as we go through later tonight. And then some of that starts to move across some of the San Joaquin Valley, maybe up towards Sacramento here as well. And then we scroll on in through Sunday morning, maybe Modesto, Fresno getting a thunderstorm, moving up into the foothills there of the Sierra Nevada, maybe towards the Bay Area as well as we go through Sunday morning. Again, going to be kind of hard to pinpoint just exactly where this thunderstorm activity is occurring. And these are not expected to produce heavy precipitation. So any lightning strikes that do occur could start fires. Now, as we go on in through Sunday, you see these blobs kind of still hitting around here across much of the state of California. So again, some thunderstorm activity moving up. Another decent surge happens by Monday morning. You can see some of that activity again moving up some of the San Joaquin Valley, maybe again towards the Bay Area, maybe even getting closer to Southern California, depending, excuse me, how this exactly plays out. And you can see some of the lower desert areas as well. So you can kind of see the hit and miss nature of these thunderstorms as we go on in through the day Tuesday. And then perhaps with us as we go all the way towards the end of next week. You guys see this still bouncing around out there. So yeah, lots to watch here as we go. So you're going to want to check back daily, and we'll look at high resolution models such as the RRFS. So I'm going to update this because this is running hot off the presses, the 12Z model. What we're looking at here is clouds in the white, and this is what the Doppler radar may look like here over the next 84 hours. So we scroll through this evening, and you can see some of this even moving towards San Diego. Is that going to be right? We don't know. Stronger storms across portions of Arizona, some gusty outflow winds, maybe even a severe storm or two associated with that activity. Now we scroll on in through tonight, and again, you can kind of see some of that precipitation. Can't rule out lightning with this in any of these given areas, all the way up towards Northern California as we go through Sunday morning. And you see multiple rounds of that potentially coming across the state of California with these return echoes as we go on in through Sunday night. And then we start to head off in towards Monday. Again, maybe some stronger storms starting to come towards Las Vegas, maybe into San Bernardino County, starting to move towards the mountains of Southern California there, and maybe towards Daggett and Palm Springs even, who knows, the Sierra Nevada, and even towards the Bay Area as you go through the day on Monday. And then we'll scroll all the way towards Tuesday, and you can continue to see that flow still with us, and showers picking up again as we go through the day on Tuesday. So European on the left, GFS on the right. This is last night's run. So monsoon moisture comes back up and across. Good model agreement with that, of course. Now, what we're looking at here is how long this monsoon flow is going to last. Looks like it lasts through next week. And then you can see the models are now picking up on that possible tropical system development here and moving it with the European. It's moving it, pretty close. And that's going to add some moisture to California there as well. GFS kind of misses with this one, but then develops another one. And then that brings it towards California. So I'm going to show you that here starting right now. You get the European Artificial Intelligence on the left and the GFS on the right. So again, watching the GFS, this initial storm kind of misses there, and then it develops another one that wants to throw moisture back up into the state of California. So who knows? We'll see how long we're going to remain active, but we got to check back daily on those updates. And by the way, if you want an affordable home weather station, this one has a lightning detection system with it. It's all solar powered, haptic rain gauge, ultrasonic anemometer. It's easy to set up. You can detach it right here, put it on a fence post or whatever, or you can purchase a pole and it mounts to that. Attractive unit. It's just a little tiny white module inside the house. Great stuff. Great smartphone app as well. Now, I showed this yesterday here, so I'll just show it one more time. The start of 2026 here in these red counties was the warmest ever from June to January 2026. So you can see much of the state of California had its warmest start to a year ever, and much of these were, ranked second warmest. Just some incredible heat here across the lower 48 states. And just zooming in, same map there for the state of California. But now the 8 to 14 day, this goes through July 24th. And again, the above normal here for much of the West. And that monsoon season signal continues on to show as we go on in through July 24th. Check me out on Facebook and Patreon as well. Those links should be down below. Hopefully you guys are having a good day otherwise. And I will catch you guys in tomorrow's update.
and blew up the Enterprise itself? The Search for Spock is the film that resurrected a dead legend and destroyed a beloved starship in the same breath. But the version you know almost ended in a hospital room. And those are only the first of 17 secrets Hollywood never expected fans to uncover. Number 1, the studio wanted the movie to end in a sickbay. The film we love ends on Vulcan in a sweeping, mystical ceremony where Spock's soul is refused into his body and he slowly, hauntingly begins to remember his friends. It's the emotional payoff the whole movie builds toward. But that's not how the studio wanted it to end. Paramount's executives wanted something smaller and safer. Their plan was to end the movie with the escape from the Genesis planet. Get Kirk and Spock onto the Klingon ship, revive Spock quickly in the sickbay, add a short tag scene, and go home. No Vulcan, no ritual, no mysticism. Director Leonard Nimoy refused. He argued vehemently that the film had to travel to Vulcan and show Spock among his own people, straining to recall who he was. He believed audiences would find it moving, and he fought until the studio relented. The single most iconic image of the film, Spock reborn on his home planet, exists only because its director dug in and wouldn't let it be cut. Number 2. Spock's death was written with a secret escape hatch. Spock died at the end of The Wrath of Khan, but the filmmakers were never fully committed to keeping him dead, so they quietly built themselves a way out. In Khan's final act, just before Spock walks to his death, he presses his hand to McCoy's face and whispers a single word: "Remember." At the time, it played as a mysterious goodbye. In reality, producer Harve Bennett and Nimoy planted that mind meld deliberately as a loophole. Spock had transferred his katra, his living soul, into bones. They didn't yet know how they'd bring him back. They just made sure they could. So the entire plot of an entire film was seeded in advance by one word slipped into the previous movie's ending. Number 3. The studio boss thought Nimoy hated Star Trek. Nimoy desperately wanted to direct this film, but there was a huge obstacle. Paramount chief Michael Eisner believed Leonard Nimoy hated Star Trek.
I can do what he does. I know what he's doing, and I can do that.
Eisner was under the impression that Nimoy had actually demanded Spock be killed off in the last movie just to escape the role. That wasn't true, but the misunderstanding nearly cost Nimoy the director's chair. He had to personally sit down with Eisner and convince him the whole premise was false before he'd be trusted with the picture. Once he cleared it up, Nimoy reportedly told them plainly, "You're damned right, I want to direct that picture." He got the job, and it launched an entire second career behind the camera. Number 4. He had to direct himself lying unconscious with his eyes shut. Directing yourself is hard enough. Directing yourself while playing a comatose body is nearly impossible. And Nimoy called it the hardest scene in the film. For much of the movie, Spock lies unconscious, and there's a key sickbay scene where McCoy talks to his motionless friend. Nimoy was in the shot, playing dead, eyes closed, meaning he couldn't watch the performances or judge the framing while it was happening. DeForest Kelley, who played McCoy, was driven up the wall by it. He joked that Nimoy was trying to secretly direct him using tiny movements and flutters of his closed eyelids. A director giving notes through his eyelashes while pretending to be in a coma. It's one of the strangest directing challenges in film history. Number 5. Killing the Enterprise was supposed to be a secret. The gut punch of this movie is Kirk destroying his own ship. The first time in Star Trek history, the Enterprise itself is blown apart. And it was meant to be a shocking twist nobody saw coming. The filmmakers wanted the destruction guarded like a major spoiler, the way Star Wars hid the reveal that Vader was Luke's father. The plan was to let it detonate on unsuspecting audiences. Then the marketing department got hold of it. Paramount's promo team decided the ship's death was too good a hook to hide and built the trailers around it, literally billing it as the death. The death of the Enterprise. The studio spoiled its own biggest surprise before a single ticket was sold. Number 6. The Klingon villain was played by Doc Brown. The snarling Klingon commander Krug, who murders his way across the Genesis planet, is played by none other than Christopher Lloyd, the beloved, wild-eyed Doc Brown from Back to the Future, released just 1 year later. Nimoy cast him on purpose. He'd admired Lloyd's unhinged intensity in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and on the sitcom Taxi, and knew he could play a genuinely menacing villain. So the same actor who'd soon be shouting about flux capacitors and gigawatts was, in 1984, a ruthless alien warlord ordering executions in full Klingon makeup. It's one of the great hidden double lives in 80s cinema. Number 7, Nimoy's first choice for Krug was rejected by the studio. Before Christopher Lloyd, Nimoy had someone else in mind for Krug, Edward James Olmos, the intense character actor who would later become a genre legend. Paramount vetoed the idea and nixed the casting. Olmos didn't get to be a Klingon. Here's the connection that ties Trek history together. Edward James Olmos went on, decades later, to lead the celebrated reboot of Battlestar Galactica as Admiral.